Welcome. In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy S23, and today I will show you how you can go through the setup process of this device. Now I will mention that this won't be necessarily one-to-one Apple comparison if your device is completely brand new out of the box, but if your device is, for instance, second-hand or it already had the first initial setup done, and this is just afterwards, the second one, after a reset, then it will be basically the same kind of comparison. I will mention the parts that will differ from a device that is completely brand new. So yeah, anyway, let's just get straight into it. We're gonna tap on this button right here, and then we're gonna find our desired language from the list. Now for me, it already selected English as the default, so I'm gonna stick with that anyway, so I don't need to change anything. But obviously if your language is some other language than English, then find it from the list, select it, and then we can tap on next, which will take us to connect to mobile network by inserting a SIM card. Now you don't need to do that. This step is completely optional and we can skip this, but I'll mention this right now. If your device is brand new, you can insert either a SIM card or connect to Wi-Fi, and you will need to do one of those things to proceed with the setup. It's one of those stupidities from Samsung that forces you into signing into some kind of network, so the phone can do whatever it's doing. Download bloatware, spy on you, I have no clue honestly. It's never really actually described why you need to connect to it, just because Samsung obviously probably won't ever tell you why, but generally if the phone is brand new, you are literally required to connect to it, otherwise you just have a nice brick. Now in here, we can connect to, or not connect to, but we can select the I agree to user license agreement. You can also tap on the details right here to read exactly what you're agreeing to, but at the end of the day, this is the only thing that you need to agree, and this is also the only thing that I recommend selecting. You don't need to agree to the bottom one, so completely ignore it. From there, we have set up using another device. So this would allow you to, I believe, copy data from, to copy settings, accounts, and more from other devices. So if you have older phone, whatever it is, you can then connect these two devices, copy all the data from the older device to this one without much hassle. Now, that being said, there is 3 different ways of going about it, depending on what phone you have. If you have a Galaxy device, Samsung specifically, this process will be probably one of the simplest ones. If you have another Android device that isn't a Samsung, you will need to download an app, and same goes for iPhone and iPad. But the difference is, on Android, you will need to go to Play Store and search for the app that it's going to tell us to download, while on iPhone, you open up your App Store. And the process, once you open it up and grant all the access that it requires, is basically the same. You'll select what you want to copy, and then it's going to connect these two devices together, the application itself, so you don't need to do anything extra, and it's going to start copying it over. Now, depending on how much data you're trying to copy, this might take anywhere from a minute all the way up to hour or so, depending on, like I said, how much data you're copying. So anyway, I'm going to be setting it up as new anyway, so I'm going to select skip, and this takes me to the choose a Wi-Fi network. Now, as you can see, I can skip this, and if I press on this, it actually will skip it. But if your phone is completely brand new and you try to skip it, it's going to give you some bullshit excuse that you need to connect to a network because connect to network, with zero actual explanation why. Obviously do so. It's not like you have a choice if you want to use your brand new device that you paid for. Now, once the device actually went through a first setup like this one has, I can skip this the second time around and any other time after that. Now, because I skipped connecting to any kind of network, date and time is not set automatically for me, so that's why it's showing up with this page. For you, you will see this page if your device is, like I said, brand new. Here we have Google services like location, scanning, and sending user and diagnostic data. If you don't like some of these, you can totally turn them off like this and select more and accept, and this will take us to the next page, which allows us to set up a screen lock. Now we have several different screen locks options. So we have PIN, pattern, or password, but we also have option for face recognition and fingerprint. Now, if you're planning to use any of the first two, face recognition or fingerprint, or both, you are always required to set up a physical way of unlocking the device, that be PIN, pattern, or password. And the reason for that is, at least I could only presume, as face recognition and fingerprint, or just like your face or your finger, are subject to change. So if, for instance, I don't know, something happens to you and both of these things change, maybe you were in an accident and you got kind of messed up, and this would be unfortunate, but it's a good example. So your hands might have just skid over something, been cut. Your face obviously might be bruised up, and the phone basically now won't recognize you, either the face nor fingerprint, and you would lose access to it. That would leave you with options to unlock it using PIN, password, or pattern. And obviously, no matter how badly you got messed up, you can still unlock it using these things, assuming you remember them. Anyway, so that's why you have several options, and that's why you are forced to also choose PIN, pattern, password when selecting any one of these. Now, I'm not going to protect my device. I'm just going to select skip right here and skip anyway, which will take me to the next page, which will be most likely Samsung account. And yes, it is. So it basically gives us right here writing on what this Samsung account could be used for. Now, I would say that the Samsung account is quite useless if you don't need specific functions of it, because some of them are completely removed, some of them are not, but for the most part, majority of them are substituted by Google, or maybe not substituted. Samsung tries to substitute Google functions with their own. That's where their bloatware is basically 5 times bigger than, or the system weighs 5 times more than the stock Android. So yeah. Now, I'm gonna explain this a little bit further for everybody who's interested. So if we try to skip it, it gives us this pop-up right here. So skip out on all this like it's some majestic features that they came up themselves with. No, they just plagiarized them. So you have Samsung Cloud, which is equivalent to Google Cloud, which was first. Bixby, hey Google, again, Google was first. Galaxy theme, entire Play Store. We have Find My Mobile, Find My Device, though I think Samsung might have gone out of the way to remove Find My Device from like settings. I could be wrong. So you might be forced to using this if you want to use this. Then we have Samsung Pass. Obviously, substitute for that is Google Passwords. Then we have Galaxy Store, which again, entire Play Store, and Secure Folder, which I think might be the only like actual option right here that has no substitution that I know of. Obviously, I think Google. Actually, no, Google. I don't think they have any kind of secure folder. So this might be the only actual like original thing that Samsung has added. Again, other manufacturers also have this that they create. But like I said, this is right here on Samsung's version. Now, my opinion here would be that Samsung Pass probably will be more secure than Google. It's what I use myself on my device, and the reason I do it is because sometime I don't know, in the past, at one point all the Google accounts, or a lot of Google accounts, have been pwned, and all the passwords that are assigned to it, all the information have been leaked to the internet. So your password might be not secure. And all the passwords that are assigned or stored by Google obviously could be also not secure. And Samsung generally, I think, might be a little bit more secure in this aspect, just because it's on Samsung, harder to crack, and a little bit smaller population, probably, meaning a little bit less interest from hackers to try to get into it. Along with, I just genuinely believe, I'm not sure, I believe this is a little bit more secure. So that is what I've been using on my phone, just because of the Google pwning kind of problem where it's been hacked. But all the other things in here are completely useless to me, and if I wouldn't rely on the passwords right here, I would just not care for this account whatsoever, because all this here, almost all of it, is otherwise just bloatware. Now, I'm gonna skip this. We have additional Samsung services, so just more bloatware. I'm gonna agree, whatever, doesn't really matter to me. You can read through them, and if you don't like them, turn them off. which will then take you to the next page to choose your theme, light or dark, which one you prefer. Obviously, it's completely up to you. From there, select next, and this basically finishes up the setup. Now, I'm gonna do one more thing, like a little caveat, and just go into settings just to show you the bloatware that this phone is running. This is, as you've seen, completely freshly set up device without importing anything. And if we go to device care, battery and device care right over here, we have our storage. And actually, this specific device only takes 36 gigs, system-wise, I mean. So system right here takes 36 gigs. That is actually double to what the stock Android takes, or Pixel specifically. And Pixel has, I believe, more features than this device. So I'm not exactly sure where the storage is going. Neither are you able to find out because it's a closed system. They don't want you to find out what kind of data they're gathering, what kind of telemetry there is, so obviously. But I will also add that this is, in terms of the S23s, this is probably one that takes the least amount of storage. The Plus and Ultra are taking above 60, so nearly double the amount of system space. It could be to do that this is only 256, so they try to tone down the space that they're taking, while the other ones that I had access to were like half a terabyte, and I think both of them were half a terabyte. So they were taking double the space that they had, double the space taken. So yeah, anyway, so that was just a little thing that I wanted to add. Now, with this being said, if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.